Today at Battery Guyz Nation, we are installing a battery in a 2008 Hyundai Tucson. To begin this project, you will need a Phillips screwdriver to take out the two screws which is holding down the air intake of this vehicle. Just use your Phillips screwdriver to slightly unscrew the Phillips screws. They will pop out easily. Then you'll be easily to remove the air intake of this vehicle which is covering the battery. Then once you get the air intake taken off, then you will need a socket or a 10mm wrench to take off the negative and the positive post. But for this project right here, we're going to use a 10mm socket. You want to disconnect the negative terminal first, which is also known as the ground. Then proceed to take off the positive terminal next. Just turn that socket 10mm clockwise until you feel the screws unloosen, and then the battery terminals will easily come off the post itself. Then once you get the negative and the positive terminals off, you will need a 13mm socket and a long extension with a ratchet to take off the battery bracket, which is also in the center of the bracket of the battery, to take off the battery bracket itself. This will free the battery from the car itself. You can easily lift up the battery once you get that bracket off. We are using a battery gripper to easily relift this battery out of the car, but you can use your two hands as well. Okay, so today we're installing back into this vehicle is the world's best reconditioned battery, which is known as Battery Guyz with a Z. Once you get that battery back into the battery box itself, you want to connect the positive terminal. Use your 10mm socket or a wrench to tighten up that bolt itself. Okay, your next step, what you want to do is you want to connect the negative terminal, which is also known as the ground. Always connect the ground last when you're installing a battery. Use your 10mm socket or wrench to tighten up that battery terminal as well. And next step you want to do is you want to put the battery bracket back down into the battery box itself, and then get the screw itself started with your hands, your fingers, like the technician is doing here in the video. Once you get that groove started, you use your 13mm socket to tighten up that bolt, which is tighten up the battery itself. Just keep the battery itself from moving around in the vehicle when you hit any type of bumps and everything on the road. And the last step you want to do is you want to connect the airflow back onto this vehicle. Just make sure you find your two plastic Phillips screws, and one by one use your Phillips head screwdriver and slowly tighten those back up into that air intake. Today's technician was Matthew. He's the manager at Battery Guyz with a Z, for doing an excellent job for installing this battery right here in this 2008 Hyundai Tucson. Thank you for watching. We definitely appreciate the viewership.